So we'll start from shloka number 90. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Hantate kathayishyami divya hyatma vibhutayah pradhanyatah kuru shrestha nastyanto vistarasya me. As we mentioned, Krishna, he says, I will tell you my divine glories. And I will tell you the important ones. Because why? There is no end or limit to my divine glories. That's what he says here. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. So the Lord speaks. Hanta. Hanta means yes. Hantate kateshyami. That means yes. I will definitely describe it to you, Arjuna. Divyahi Atma Vibhutayaha. Atma Vibhutayaha. Divyaha means my own glories. Definitely Atma Vibhutayaha. And my manifestations, which are very divine. And pradhanyataha kurushreshta. Pradhanyataha, I will tell you the very important ones, O Arjuna. Kurushreshta, the best of kurus. Naasti antaha vistarasya me. So, naasti antaha means limit. Naasti means there is no limit. Vistarasya, for these extensive glories of mine. So, what did Krishna say here? The Lord spoke, I shall now briefly describe my divine glories to you, O best of Kurus, for there is no end to their detail. Like that, he starts this, and up to the end of this chapter, he is going to describe his glories. Shloka number 20. Ahamatma Gudakesha Sarvabhutashayasthitaha Ahamadishcha madhyam cha bhutanamanta eva cha. So here we will see the explanation first. He is dividing his glories into two. We call one the Paramarthika Swarupam, or his higher nature, and the other one is the Vyavaharika Swarupam, which is the nature that we experience, or whatever exists in this world. Like that, he divides the two. So, Paramarthika Swarupam, what he talks about is, he says, I am the Atma in all the beings. Like that, he talks about his superior nature. And he says about his Vyavaharika Swarupam, or we can say it as Ishvara Swarupam. He says, I am the beginning, middle, and the end of the beings. I am responsible for creation, I am responsible for sustenance, I am responsible for the destruction. Like that Shrishti, Sthiti, and Layam that we experience in this world is coming from Ishvara. This is something that we see and we experience. So this is the lower nature. Like that, in the shloka, he divides it into two. So, Ahamatma Gudakesha. Gudakesha means he is referring to Arjuna here. So, Gudakesha means the one who has conquered the sleep. The one who has conquered the sleep meaning what? The one who is not in Tamoguna, the one who is not in lazy, or the one who is awake, the one who is not deluded. Because Arjuna has several superior qualities, so he addresses Arjuna in this way. Ahamatma. So he says that I am this Atma, O Arjuna. Sarva Bhuta Ashayasthitaha. So Sarva Bhuta means all these beings. Ashayasthitaha. I am seated in them only. I am the Atma who is seated in all the beings, O Arjuna. So he refers to himself as the Paramarthika Swarupam, or the superior nature. Then he says, Aham Adihi cha Madhyam cha. I am the beginning. Adihi beginning. Madhyam cha. I am the middle. Bhutanam Antaha eva cha. So for all the beings, Bhutanam Antaha is the end. Eva cha. So I am the beginning, I am the middle, and I am also the end. Like that he is saying here. So the general translation is, O Arjuna, I am seated in the heart of all living entities. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings. Shloka number 21. Adityanamaham Vishnuhu Jyotisham Raviram Shuma Marichir Marutamasmi Nakshatranamaham Shashi. So in shlokas number 21 to 42, up to the end, he is going to describe about his vibhutis. So as he said, he is going to only touch upon certain best things. He is going to take the final point, which will be the full manifestation. And he is going to only talk about that. So he starts here. And each vibhuti that he describes, there is like a deep inner meaning to it. We are not just taking names here. Because of what he has mentioned, that little bit also we have to understand. In Hinduism, they refer to 33 deities that he will touch upon, except for 2 that is not mentioned here. So the 33 deities will be divided as follows. In that, there will be 12 Adityas, 11 Rudras, 8 Vasus, and 2 Ashwini Kumaras. So Ashwini Kumaras is not mentioned here. The rest of it we'll see. So Ashwini Kumaras is the twin gods. It was born to Surya and Sanjana, and they are represent the health, aspects of speed, knowledge, and all that. So those are the Ashwini Kumaras. The rest we are going to see. Adityana Maham Vishnuhu. So here first line itself is talking about the Adityas. We said that Adityas are 12 in number. So Aditya generally, when it is talked about in singular, it will refer to the sun god. We know that. But there will be 12 names for the 12 months. And this is what is called the Adityas. So the name starting from April, just for information I'm giving you, but it's not important. It is Amsu, Datta, Indra, Aryama, Vivasva, Bhaga, Parjanya, Dvashta, Mitra, Vishnu, Varna, and Pusha. So these are the 12 names. And he brought the name of Aham Vishnu, meaning this is the Aditya, which is in the month of January. So he's mentioned the 10th name was Vishnu. And he's mentioned this as to be as a manifestation of himself, because Vishnu, in the month of January, he brings the heat from the cold. So he's considered to be the most superior of these 12 Adityas. So he's mentioning Vishnu here. I am Vishnu among the 12 Adityas, like that he is mentioning here. That was first. Adityana Maham Vishnuhu. So I am the Vishnu among the 12 Adityas. Jyotisham Ravihi Anshuman. So Anshuman meaning the one which is giving the rays, the one which radiates. So we know that among the more luminous objects, whenever we talk about luminous objects, we will always say sun. So sun is the most luminous of all objects, and he refers to the sun as his own manifestation. So Jyotisham Ravihi Anshuma. Then Marichihi Marutamasmi. Then he is talking about the Maruts, which are the wind gods. And there are supposed to be 49 of those wind gods. And they are broken down into 7 groups. 7, like that. 7 groups are there of 7 each, which consists of 49. So he's talking about Marichi here. And he says that Marichi is a superior among the Maruts. Why? Marichi brings the tender, beautiful breeze. So he is considered superior among the Maruts. And he says that this is me. It is not the cyclonic wind, or it is not other kinds of winds. It is the cool breeze that is very gentle. So he is talking about Marichi here. Marichi Marutamasmi. So I am the Marichi of all the Maruts. And then Nakshatrana Maham Shashi. Nakshatra of the stars, we say that the moon is the most superior. So the Shashi means the moon. Nakshatra means the stars. I am the moon, which is my manifestation. Like that he says here. So what are the things he said here? Among the Adityas, I am Vishnu. Among luminous objects, I am the sun. Know me to be Marichi amongst the Maruts, and the moon amongst the stars in the night sky. Shloka number 22. Vedanam Samavedosmi Devanamasmi Vasavah Indriyanam Manaschasmi Bhutanamasmi Chetana. So here he is talking about Vedanam Samavedosmi. So among the Vedas, I am Samaveda. Why he is talking highly about Samaveda? Because Samaveda, they will sing in Samaveda. So it is said that it is enchanting. Even if you didn't understand the Vedas, It is enchanting to listen to how they recite the Samaveda. So he says that this is the highest among the Vedas and which is my manifestation. Vedanam Samavedosmi, Devanam Asmi Vasavaha. Vasavaha means Indra. So Indra, by sheer merit, he has risen to this position. So as we know, the Indra, the post itself, it is not permanent. So if you do a lot of merit, you will rise to this. So the highest among the Devas, who is Indra, is me. Like that he says. Devanam Asmi Vasava. Deva means we know celestial gods. Asmi Vasavaha. I am Indra. Like that he says. Indriyana Manaha Chasmi. Indriyana, among all the senses, Manaha Chasmi. I am the mind. Like that he says. Why? Because the mind is a recorder of all the senses. You may be looking at something, but if you didn't register in your mind, that means it becomes null and void. That is why we say absent-minded. Means what? The mind is not there. Senses are there, but the mind is not recording that information. So among all the senses, what is most important is the mind. Like that he says, this is my manifestation. Indriyanam manaha cha asmi, bhutanam asmi chetana. Bhutana, among all the living beings, Asmi, I am the Chetana, I am the consciousness. We have seen this in chapter 2, that the Atman, which is same as a Brahman in Advaita Vedanta, it will be reflected on the intellect. And because of that only, we get this awareness, which is transmitted across the senses and the body, which makes it feel intelligent. So, the clearer the picture of the reflection, that means the higher the intelligence will be, the higher the awareness will be. Animals will have a lesser, more duller, not like humans. That's why humans are more sharp and intelligent because of that fact. So this is what I am. I am this Chaitanya. He says that in the Bhutana, in the living beings, I am this Chaitana. Like that he is addressing. So the general translation is, I am the Samaveda amongst the Vedas and the Indra among the celestial gods. Amongst the senses, I am the mind. Among the living beings, I am the consciousness. Shloka number 23. Rudranam Shankarashchasmi Vittesho Yaksharakshasam Vasunam Pavakaschasmi Merushikarinamaham. So first he is saying Rudranam Shankaraha Chasmi. Talked about Rudras. We said that there are 11 in number. Among the 33, there were 12 Adityas and there were 11 Rudras, right? And there were also the 2 Ashwini Kumaras and the 8 Vasus. So now we are talking about Rudras. And in that Rudra, he is talking about the best among the Rudra, Shankara. He is not talking about Shiva here. So the Rudras, there were 11 in number, I said. And the Puranas always, they don't agree in this number and there is conflicting information. But the 11 Rudras are said to be Ajaikapad, Ahirbudnya, Veerabhadra, Girisha, Shankara, Aparajita, Hara, Ankaraka, Pinaki, Bhagu and Shambhu. So these were the 11 Rudras. And Rudra means what? Rudra means the person who makes somebody cry. So why they are saying that this person is my manifestation if he is making other people cry? It is that these gods, they will make you cry to get the highest good. Suppose something didn't happen in your life and you are very sad about it. But maybe this is the highest good for you, like the Shreyas and the prayers that we talked about. So the Shreyas is the highest good. Prayers is the temporary good that we get. So they will make you cry. In that way, when you cry, it is said that your papas or sins are also washed away. Because you do realize maybe that what I did was wrong or whatever reason it is, when you cry, the sins are washed away. And Shankara basically means, Shankaraha means doer of the good, giver of the auspiciousness. So ultimate auspiciousness is there, and this Shankara, who is one of among the 11 Rudras, he will give. Krishna says, I am Shankara of the 11 Rudras. Like that he mentions. Rudranam Shankaraha cha asmi. So Shankaraha, I am of the Rudras. Vittesho Yaksha Rakshasam. Vittesho means he is referring to Kubera. We know that Kubera is the god of wealth. So the Yakshasa and the Rakshasas, they are the celestial beings we know, and they are very fond of acquiring wealth. Even though transitory, wealth is definitely power, and they worship Kubera, who is the lord of the wealth. So he talks about himself as Kubera, who these people worship. Like that he says, Rakshasam, Vasunam Pavakaha cha asmi. So Vasus. So we said that among the 33 gods, there were these 12 Adityas, the 11 Rudras that we have seen, and there are these 8 Vasus. So he is saying that I am the Pavakaha, I am this Agni. Like that he says. Basically, Vasus, they refer to the gross structure of nature. The 8 Vasus, Prithvi, earth, Varuna, water, Agni, fire, Vayu, wind, Aditya, name for sun, Akasha is the ether, Chandramas, moon, Nakshatrani, stars. So these are things we know, and these 8 are known as the Vasus. They refer to the gross structure of the nature. So in this, he is referring to the Pavakaha. Pavaka is the son of Agni. Agni got of his wife Swaha 3 sons, Pavaka, Pavanamana and Suchi. So these were the 3 sons of Agni, and each has a different characteristic of the fire. And this Pavaka, he brings the warmth and he sustains life. So he is considered to be the most superior. So Vasunam Pavakaha Chasmi Meruhu Shikarinamaham. He is talking about the Meru, which we know is the golden mountain. So it is considered to be the axis around which the heavenly bodies rotate. But the allegorical meaning, spiritual meaning to this is, it represents our spinal cord, around which our body is situated. Without the spinal cord, there will be no access to our body. So the Brahma Danda it is called, and this is what he is referring to here. So he talks about it as a special manifestation. Meru Shikarinamaha. Theologically, we say that Meru is the axis around which the heavenly bodies rotate. Like that it is given in the Puranas. Also referring to the spinal cord of the human beings. And this is his manifestation. So the general translation is, amongst the Rudras, know me to be Shankara. Amongst the demons, I am Kubera. I am Agni among the Vasus and Meru amongst the mountains. Shloka number 24. Purodhasam cha mukhyam mam vidhi partha brihaspatim senani namaham skandah sarasamasmi sagarah. So he is talking about Brihaspati. We all know Brihaspati is the guru of the Devas. What is the right duty of the guru or a priest? He has to administer the ritualistic worship, and also he has to give the sanctified code of conduct to the people. So that is the duty of a priest. And Brihaspati, he is a priest of the Devas. So he has got such a high position, and that is why he is referring to the Brihaspati here. So the priest itself, he has got a very pure purpose in life, and Brihaspati, being the priest of the Devas, definitely he is one of the most superior beings. So he says, Purodhasam cha Mukyamma. So he says, amongst the priests, Mukyamma, Vidhi Partha Brihaspati. Of all the priests, I am the Brihaspati. Partha Brihaspatim. Senani Nam Aham Skandaha. Senani Nam. Among the warrior chiefs, he says that I am Skanda or I am Kartikeya. God can be reached through the right understanding and the right execution. Understanding itself is only one part, but we need to execute that understanding. This is being symbolized in our scriptures by the sons of Shiva, Ganesha, who stands for the right understanding, and Skanda or Kartikeya, who is the chief of execution. So we know that in the Skanda Purana, the Shiva's hosts are led to victory. He is considered a very great general, Kartikeya. And Skanda Purana talks a lot about leadership. So therefore, he claims that Skanda, he is my own manifestation. Like that, he talks about it. So, Senaninam Aham Skandaha. Among all the warrior chiefs, I am Skanda, who is the topmost, who is the best. And Sarasam Asmi Sagaraha. Then he talks about the ocean. Ocean is what, whenever we think about the ocean, it means infinitude. This infinity is me. Whenever we think about the vast expansiveness, this is me. Like that, he mentions the Sagara also, the ocean. So the general translation was, O Arjuna, among priests, I am Brihaspati. Among warrior chiefs, I am Kartikeya. And among reservoirs of water, know me to be ocean. Shloka number 25. Maharshinam bhruguraham giramasmekamaksharam yajnanam japa yajñosmi sthavarāṇāṃ himalayah. So here he says, Maharishinam Bhriguraham. We know that Bhrigu Rishi is one of the Maharishis. He is one of the greatest rishis. Why he talked about Bhrigu is because he is on the very high super consciousness plane. He is the realized soul. So he said of all the Maharishis, he talked about Bhrigu. And there is also a story about Bhrigu in Taittiriya Upanishad, where Bhrigu will go to his father and he will say to his father, this is called Bhrigu in the Taittiriya Upanishad, which is basically the steps to realization. So he will tell his father, oh father, tell me about the eternal. Tell me what is eternal. So the father will say, okay, what it is you have to go and do tapas. You will go and meditate. You will realize it yourself. But I will give you one clue. The clue is that the eternal is that form from which all creatures are born, by which all creatures are sustained, and to which they merge into. So this is what is the eternal. So you go and discover for yourself. So Bhrigu goes and he meditates for some time. Then he realizes, oh, food is the one which is so important. So this must be the eternal. So he goes and tells his father, so food is the one by which the creatures are born, they are sustained, and they also go back into this food. So that is why this is eternal. And the father says, no, not yet. You go and meditate again and then tell me what you realize. Then he will go again and he will meditate. Then he will come back to his father and he will say, I think prana is the eternal, because that is what, sustains life, and we come to existence because of prana, and when the prana leaves, we leave the body. So this must be the eternal. And the father says, no, this is not the eternal. You go and meditate again. And then he will come back and say, mind is the eternal. And again, the father will say, no, this is not the eternal. And again, he will meditate and he will say the intellect or knowledge is the eternal. And the final stage, Bhrigu will realize that it is the Ananda or this bliss, and he will realize it himself and he will tell his father. And this is being said as the steps to realization. First, we will be very attached to our bodies, that is the matter. Panchakosha Vivekam, right? Annamaya Kosha, the food sheath, then the Pranamaya Kosha, the Prana sheath, and then the Manomaya Kosha, the mind, and then Jnanamaya Kosha, the intellect sheath, and then the Anandamaya Kosha, which is a bliss sheath, and beyond that, there is this consciousness. So, like that, you will have to evolve stage by stage. That is why these examples are given. Is first your attachment will be to matter. Then it will go subtler and subtler and subtler. Then you realize what you really are. So this is a story about Bhrigu Maharishi, how he got the enlightenment. So he mentions Bhrigu as the highest rishi. So Maharishina Bhriguraham. Giram asmi ekaksharam. Giram, that is, he is talking about the chants. Ekam aksharam. Ekam aksharam means he is referring to Om. And why we said Om is the most powerful of the chants? Because it refers to both the Saguna and the Nirguna Brahman. Whenever we take any name of the God, we say Om. And in Mandukya Upanishad, the steps are given also to do the analysis of the Om, how the Om can lead to realization. Like that, the steps are given. So it can be used both to know the Saguna Brahman and to discover the Nirguna Brahman. That is why the Om is considered to be the most powerful among all the chants. And Yajnanam Japa Yajnaha Asmi. So he talks about the Japa Yajna. So Japa Yajna is supposed to be the most potent. Why? Because it is very easy, number one. It can be performed in the midst of any activity. Number two, it doesn't need any materials. You don't need anything to do japa. You just sit in a corner and you do the japa. When you have to take materials, what happens is harm is also caused. Whenever some materials are procured for any purpose, you cause harm to beings also. So no harm is caused because of japa. That is why it's supposed to be very pure. And Lord is present where japa yajna takes place. So because of all these reasons, japa yajna has got a very, very high position. So yajnanam japa yajnaha asmi. So among all the yajnas, I am this japa yajna, he says. And stavaranam himalayaha. Stavara means whatever is the immovable object. Immovable objects, here they refer to the vegetation that sustains life. So this Himalaya also included. Himalaya, we know it is a great mountain, immovable object. Among this immovable objects, I am Himalaya. Like that he says, and this is my manifestation. So the general translation was, I am Bhrigu amongst the great seers and the transcendental Om amongst sounds. Among chants, know me to be the repetition of the holy name. Among immovable things, I am Himalayas. And shloka number 26. Ashwattha sarva vrikshanam devarshīṇāṃ ca nāradaha gandharvāṇāṃ citrarathah siddhānāṃ kapilo munihi. So here he talks about the Ashwatha, the tree Ashwatha, which is also called as the people tree. And why it brings this people tree in the picture? Because the fruits of the people tree is not useful to man. So whenever we think of this tree, we associate it with God. So that is why he says this is also my vibhuti. Ashwatha sarva vrikshana. So I am the manifestation of this people tree. Devarashinam cha naradaha. Among the Devarishis. So we know who are the Devas. And among the Devas, there are also Rishis. Narada is a Devarishi. Rishi meaning itself, we said mantra drashtaraha. That is, they were the people who could absorb all these mantras that were transmitted and they could give it to the people. So that is one quality of the Rishi. Richati janati iti rishihi. Like that also the definition is given. So one who knows the truth. Those people are also called Rishis. And Narada, being a great bhakta of Vishnu, we know stories like Narada, he will induce some fights and quarrels and things like that. But everything will lead to auspiciousness only. Final thing is good for all, the Shreyas. So association with Narada means associating with the Lord itself. So he says, I am Narada among all the Devarishis. And then Gandharvanam Chitrarataha. Gandharvas. Who are these Gandharvas? They are also celestial beings and they are very talented people. They are experts in singing and dancing and all that. And he is talking about Chitraratha, who is the leader among the Gandharvas. So he says, I am Chitraratha among these Gandharvas. And then Siddhanam Kapilaha Munihi. Siddhas. So who is the Siddha? Siddhas means who are already perfect people. That is, in the birth itself, the Janmana, Dharma, Jnana, Vairagyam, all this they have. They have righteousness, they have knowledge, and they have dispassion. All these qualities they have. And Kapila is said to be one of the greatest of all these, and he is supposed to be an avatar of Vishnu. So he says that this is the highest among all the Siddhas. So I am Kapila Muni. So the general translation is, among the trees, I am the people tree. Of the celestial sages, I am Narada. Among the Gandharvas, I am Chitraratha. And amongst the Siddhas, I am sage Kapila. Sloka number 27. Uchchai Shravasamashvanam Vidhimam Amritodbhavam Airavatam Gajendranam Naranam cha Naradhipam. Here he is talking about, we know the Samudra Mathana, the churning of the ocean, we know that story. Meaning behind it is the eternal process of good and bad. People are jointly churning the ocean to obtain happiness through wealth, learning, prosperity, all those things. But they have to go to the final nectar, which is immortality. That is what is the nectar which is being depicted. That is the final essence of it. So two things are horse and an elephant. So Uchchai Shravas. So that is the horse. And then Airavata. The Airavata is the elephant, which is also with Indra. Uchchai Shravasam Ashwanam. Ashwanam means among the horses. I am Uchchai Shrava. And then Viddhimam Amritodbhavam. So which was begotten from the churning of the ocean for the nectar. So these were the things, there were so many things that were coming when they were churning. And these were all begotten. And they are all things which are very, very precious. And Airavatam Gajendranam. So I am the Airavata. Among all the lordly elephants, I am Airavata. Naranam cha Naradhipam. So he's talking about Nara Adhipam means the king. So kings are said to be incarnations of God itself because they are superior people. They are supposed to have qualities. That's why they are born as kings. So he says that among the people, I am the king. Like that he mentions here, and this is my vibhuti. So he says, amongst the horses, know me to be Uchchai Shrava, begotten from the churning of the ocean of nectar. I am Airavata amongst all lordly elephants and the kings amongst humans. Sloka number 28. Ayudhanamaham vajram Dhenūnamasmi kamadhuk Prajanaschasmi kandarpah sarpanamasmi vasukihi. So here he says that amongst the weapons, I am Vajram. Vajram is thunderbolt, also Indra's weapon. The story behind it is Indra had to basically manufacture this weapon for the destruction of his enemy, Vritrasura. So for that, he came to know that to construct such a weapon, there must be a person who has done a lot of austerities and tapas, who will be able to give the parts of his body to produce this weapon. Only then this weapon will work, like that he was told. So there is a sage called Dadichi, and this sage was supposed to have done a lot of austerities. So the Indra approached this sage, Dadichi, and he said, "Can you please give me your bones? And I want to make this weapon to destroy my enemy." Any normal person would have said, "No, I'm not sorry. Why should I give you, parts of my body?" Dadichi, he said, "Okay, I will go into Samadhi. This is for the good of the world. So I will give you my bones." Like that he said. So after that, the weapon was manufactured, and then Vritrasura was destroyed. So person's selflessness, that only is the most powerful thing. We're not talking of the weapon per se, but how through his selfless act, he was able to produce good for the world. Ayudana maham vajram, dhenunam asmi kamaduk. So here he's talking about Kamadhenu. Kamadhenu, we all know that the Kamadhenu is the cow of desire. Kamadhenu is basically, it depicts a cheerful mind and endeavor on the right lines. Dhenunam asmi kamaduk. Among the cows, I am Kamadhenu. Prajanaha, procreation, cha asmi kandarpaha. I am Kamadeva, the god of love. This is used for progeny. So if it is done in the right lines, that also I am, he says. And sarpanam asmi vasukihi. So he talks about this Vasuki. Vasuki basically relates to this cosmic energy or the Shakti. Talking about the Kundalini Shakti, which is lying dormant in us. And happiness, misery, all these dualities are expressions of this energy. And the poison in the snake is associated with this negative energy. Sarpanam asmi Vasukihi. So of all the serpents, I am the Vasuki. So here he says, I am Vajra, thunderbolt amongst weapons, and Kamadhenu among the cows. I am Kamadeva, the god of love, amongst all causes for procreation, and among serpents, I am Vasuki. Anantaschasmi naganam, Varuno yadasamaham, Pitrunamaryama chasmi, Yamasayamatamaham. So here he is talking about Anantaha. Anantaha means Anantaha chasmi naganam. So Nagas are basically the non-poisonous snakes. And Ananta is representing the 5-headed snake, non-poisonous snake, which is the representation of the 5 elements. And Prakriti, this nature is made of the 5 elements, air, water, fire, ether, and earth. And because we depict Lord Vishnu to be resting on Ananta, basically we want to say that he is a cause for this Prakriti. That is why he says, I am Ananta, the 5-headed Naga. Anantaha cha asmi naganam, Varunoha Yada Samaham. So Varuna is supposed to be one of the Vedic deities, and then he is associated with intelligence, and later he becomes the lord of the water deities. So he says that I am Varuna. Pitrunam Aryama cha asmi. So Pitrunam Aryama cha asmi meaning talks about Aryama. When Pitrus leave this loka, if they have done a lot of punya, they will go to the Pitru loka. And the lord of the Pitru loka will be Aryama. So whenever we offer to the Pitrus, we will also pray to Aryama. So lord of the departed, which is Aryama, he is referring to here. Pitrunam Aryama cha asmi, Yamaha Sanyama tamaham. Yamaha, he is bringing Yama, which is a lord of death. Basically what the meaning is, Yama, Niyama, also we have seen Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, like that it is said 8 steps. So in that Yama means self-control, the one who doesn't deviate from the ideal. The same meaning for Yama, Lord of Death. All the ideal, how Yama is able to be so righteous, that is my manifestation, like that he said. Yamaha Sanyamatamaham. So he is a dispenser of the law, right? He is supposed to be very just. So how that is because of my vibhuti, like that he says. So general translation is, amongst the snakes, I am Ananta. Amongst aquatics, I am Varuna. Among the departed ancestors, I am Aryama. Amongst dispensers of law, I am Yama, the lord of death.